Hi, my name is Wasifa, and today we are going to talk about expressions with the word hell. You'll notice, I don't know if you know what the word hell means, but you'll notice some flames to help you understand the meaning of hell. So first what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the phrase, what the hell? And then once we finish that, we're going to look at some common idioms and phrases that contain the word hell. So let's get started. Before we begin with what the hell, I just want to talk about pronunciation and also what the word hell means. So hell is a noun. It's a place. In certain religions, if you're very, very bad, you go to hell. For people who are very good, they go to heaven. Hell is supposed to be a very hot place with a lot of flames, with fire. A lot of evil people are supposed to go to hell. So that's just a bit of a background on the word hell. Now, here's a word that people might confuse with the word hell. Hill. Hill. Heel. Does anyone know what this means? Well, it's a contraction. You see this apostrophe? It means he will. So these two words have completely different meanings, so don't mix them up. In terms of pronunciation, you don't want to mix these two words up. So remember, hell rhymes with bell, and hill is pronounced the same way as like a hill. Hill. Okay, good. So let's look at the first expression. I have had a lot of ESL students ask me about this expression. What the hell? What the hell? And you'll notice an exclamation mark. So what does this expression mean? I'm sure if you watch American movies, TV shows, Friends, sitcoms, you are going to see this a lot. You're going to hear it a lot. Well, what the hell is what's known as an interjection. So we use this to show we are surprised, we're angry, we're frustrated, but usually with the surprise and anger. So for example, maybe I'm walking down the street and all of a sudden in the sky, I see something fly past me. Maybe it looks like an alien spaceship. I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be surprised. So right away, I'm going to say something like, what the hell? It's surprising. What the hell? So we use this a lot with surprise. So now let's look at using hell as what's known as an intensifier. So in this case, it's used as an interjection. Other interjections are whoa or ah. These are interjections. Now we are going to look at hell as what's known as an intensifier because hell is intense. So what do I mean by this? Well, look at the following sentence. Well, it's a question. What happened? What happened? Now, say if I want to add emotion to this sentence, I want people to know that I feel something when I'm saying this. Maybe it's surprise, maybe it's shock, anger, frustration. Usually those four emotions we use hell with. Instead of just saying, oh, what happened? I can say, what the hell happened? What the hell happened last night? I don't know if any of you guys have seen the movie The Hangover, but in that movie, three men wake up hungover with no memory of the night before. And so they have this type of moment. What the hell happened last night? They don't remember. They're shocked by what they see around them. Another example is I had a friend in high school who had a big party. Her parents were away for the weekend, or so she thought. So she invited a whole bunch of people to her house, and it was a Saturday night. Her parents were supposed to come home Sunday. They came home Saturday. So when her father walked into their house, he said, "What the hell is He wasn't happy. So again, we use this for anger, surprise, frustration. Now let's look at another question. Who is that? Who is that? Well, what if I add the hell? Who the hell is that? It really changes the meaning of this question. Before, the question was more polite. When I add who the hell is that, it's a bit rude. So you don't want to use this with your boss. It is rude. But I'm showing either I'm angry or surprised. So when might I use this? Well, maybe I see my best friend's husband at a bar with another woman. Well, if I'm shocked, I might ask him, who the hell is that? When? When did you get married? Maybe I find out my friend just got married. Oh, when did you get married? Well, what if I'm really, really surprised or I'm angry because she didn't invite me to the wedding? I might say, when the hell did you get married? Again, it's not the nicest thing to say. You say it with your friends a lot, actually, but it can be taken rudely depending on your tone of voice. Where are my keys? Every morning, I wake up, and before work, I cannot find my keys. I search the whole house for my keys. I can never find them. Well, maybe one morning I'm very, very stressed out. I'm late for work. I need to get there by a certain time. I might, instead of just saying, oh, where are my keys? I might say, where the hell are my keys? How do I fix this? Maybe I broke something. If I add the hell, it shows maybe I'm frustrated. I don't know how to fix this. How the hell do I fix this? So again, we have all of the question words. Who, what, when, where, why. Oh, we don't have why up here. You can also use it for why. Why the hell did you do this? You can use it with any of these question words, and what it does, again, is it shows you're either surprised, shocked, frustrated, or angry. Now, two other things we can intensify are common words like no, yes, and yeah. Now, if somebody asks me a question, say for instance, if they ask me, do you think George W. Bush did a great job as President of the United States? Now, for some of you, you'll say, yeah, I think he did a good job. For others, maybe you don't really care. You say, oh, no, I don't think he did that good of a job. Well, if you're very opinionated, like me, you might say, hell no. Hell no, which is a very strong way of saying no. And similar to that, if you feel very strongly about something and you want to say yes, you can say, hell yeah, or hell yes. Do you want cake with that, with dinner? Hell yeah. Do you want to go to the movies tonight? Hell yeah. Do you want to do your homework? Hell no. So you can use these to intensify yes and no answers. All right, so we've covered some question words. We've seen what the hell is an interjection. We've looked at adding the hell as an intensifier. Well, there's another common meaning to what the hell. So it can also mean, I don't know if you can see this, I don't care, which is pretty opposite to what we were just talking about. We were just saying when we add the hell, it really makes a sentence strong. It makes a question very strong. It shows you're angry or surprised. Well, depending on our tone of voice, it can also mean I don't care. So for instance, somebody wants to borrow my car. If I don't really care, I might say, what the hell? If I don't really care, I might say, what the hell? Go ahead. Here are my keys. Another example is if I have a test on Monday and I should be studying, and then somebody says, do you want to go to the bar tonight? What the hell? Okay, I should be studying, but I don't really care. So, what the hell? All right? I hope none of you do that, by the way. All right, so next we are going to look at some common idioms and phrases, expressions with the word hell. in them. All right, so here are 6 expressions. Some of them are more common than others, but you will hear all of these that have to do with the word hell. Now, the first one I really like, to give someone hell. When you give someone hell, so again, here's the verb to give someone hell, it's all together. It means to reproach, to reprimand, to yell at someone severely. So, for example, to really understand this concept, I have a dog. If my dog ate some of my jewelry, I would be very, very angry. So I might give my dog hell, meaning I might yell at my dog and say, "Why did you do that? Bad dog." Parents, I told you earlier that my friend had a party one weekend when her parents were out for the weekend and her dad came home early. Her dad gave her hell, meaning her dad was very, very angry with her, yelled at her, screamed at her, really disciplined her. When you give someone hell, it's a bit negative. You're not happy when you give someone hell. It means you really put them in their place. So, for example, bosses. If a boss is very, very upset with something you've done, maybe an employee stole something from their company, the boss will give that person hell. So again, it means reproach, reprimand, to yell at someone, to scream at someone, give someone hell. Okay, expression number 2. Now, this expression, go to hell, is not polite at all. It's very, very, very rude. So try not to use it, but you will hear it a lot, especially on movies and TV. Go to hell, so I've drawn a very angry face. If you tell someone to go to hell, you're probably going to be very angry when you say it. And you're pretty much saying, I don't want to deal with you right now. Get away. Leave me alone. But it's a very, very, very mean and angry way to say it. Because again, hell is not a nice place. It's a place where bad people go. So if you're saying go to hell to someone, it's a very strong thing to say. All right, number 3. Number 3 is to hell with it or the hell with it. So you have a choice. You can say to hell with it or you can say the hell with it. Now, this expression is often used when you give up on something. You decide you don't want to do something anymore. So, for example, maybe I've been studying all day and then I decide I want to go out and party. I might say, to hell with studying. So the it is what you change. So to hell with studying, I'm going to go party. So you give up on studying. You don't care about studying, you're going to go party. Or you can also use a person. We'll replace it with her. To hell with her. I might say that if I give up on someone, I'm kind of tired of them. I tried to call my friend all weekend. She didn't pick up her phone. To hell with her, meaning I don't care anymore. I'm giving up. I'm not calling her anymore. Number 4, for the hell of it. I really like this expression, actually, for the hell of it. What does it mean? Have you ever done something for no reason? When somebody asks you, why did you do that? You don't really have an answer. An answer is for the hell of it, meaning you did it for either no reason or just for fun. So, for example, maybe I'm not working tomorrow, I don't have anything to do, and I decide I want to go to Montreal. I live in Toronto. Montreal's 5 hours away. So maybe one day I just think, I'm going to drive to Montreal today. Somebody might ask me, why did you do that? What were you doing in Montreal? Well, I drove there for the hell of it. Meaning, I didn't really have a reason. Maybe I just did it for fun. Number 5, like hell. When we use like hell, we're talking about we're describing something. Usually it has to do with driving, running, studying. So it has to do with a verb. It describes the verb. So how did you do it? How did you drive? I drove like hell. How did you run? I ran like hell. So like hell describes the verb. And it means you did it either with great speed, so very fast, or recklessly, meaning you weren't careful. So when would we use something like hell, for example? Well, maybe you have a wife, she's pregnant, she's about to give birth, and you're very, very stressed out. You're a bit in a panic. How would you drive your car to the hospital? Do you think you drive at 40 kilometers an hour? No, you're probably going to drive as fast as you can to get there on time before she gives birth. You drive like hell. Maybe some of you have been late for class before. This has happened to me before. And if you have a very strict teacher, you don't want to be late. So what do? Well, you run. And how do you run? You run like hell, meaning you run as fast as you can. You just sprint. You run hard. So run like hell. You could use this with studying. How do you study? I study like hell. Meaning I study with great speed. Maybe you didn't study for weeks and your test is tomorrow. How are you going to study for your test? You're going to study like hell. Number 6, when hell freezes over. Now, this is a fun expression because hell, like I said before, is a very hot place. Notice the flames. Well, freezing is what happens in the winter. It's when ice comes. So when hell freezes over means hell is going to be covered in ice. Now, this is another way of saying never, because hell will never freeze over. It's a very hot place. This is a fun way to say never. So let's think of some examples. Well, maybe I have a friend and a guy wants to go on a date with her. I ask her, will you go on a date with Bob? We'll call him Bob. Will you go on a date with Bob? Maybe if she really doesn't like Bob, she will say, I'll go on a date with Bob when hell freezes over, which means she will never go on a date with Bob. Will you go see, what's a good movie? Maybe you hate Lord of the Rings. I don't know why. I love Lord of the Rings, but maybe some of you out there thought it was a very boring movie, very long. So maybe somebody will ask you, will you see The Hobbit, the new Lord of the Rings movie coming out? You might say, I'll see The Hobbit when hell freezes over, meaning you will never see that movie. It's a very strong way to say that. Okay. All right. So today we have looked at expressions like what the hell. We've looked at interjections. What the hell? Again, hell no, hell yes.